MC Championship, a Minecraft tournament that combines all walks of the Minecraft community together in one single minigame event. But not only just the English speaking side of things, but also Spanish speaking side of things as well. And with the upcoming Hispanic MCC, it's really a good time to go back and look at how we get here, right from the very start all the way to now, with the event coming up. Also, if you like more of this, be sure to check out that subscribe button. But yeah, let's do this. Let's go all the way back to MCC 30, with the very first Spanish-speaking content creator in the tournament, Shadoune 666, who's heavily involved in the Hispanic community in Minecraft, from events to many more, especially with his background in UHC. At the time, he is the only newcomer to the event that is full of, well, overpowered duos. Yeah, that's a really good introduction for him to the event. So with this, the team he's in, the Pink Parrots, with Sylvie, MC Tubbo, he underperformed quite a lot. 35th place for his debut. I mean, the team itself is underpowered, so that's really tough. And also a very rough introduction for him. But that's just only the beginning of what's to become his first domination. MCC 31 with the first all Spanish speaking team, with Jojo, Shadoune, Capitan Gato, and Oli Gamers. The latter two were newcomers to the event and have been playing in Hispanic events and involved in the community for quite some time, especially with Oli being the winner of the first Squidcraft game. Although this team is not the original team. Originally, Chris Green and Counterstein were in the team instead of Capitan Gato and Oli. However, due to some controversies that we will not be dove into, they have to sub down. Fear not, that doesn't matter by any means, as this team is proven to be the force to be reckoned with. However, they start up slow, with Rocket Speed Rush and Theater Side not being their game, but a decent showing in Parkour Warrior. Parkour Tag is where things start to go in their way, where Oli likes the game a lot and did solidly well in the game itself. And then following that is an OK Grid Runners, and then, as you may have known, they really decimated survival games. This survival games is really one of the most dominant survival games of all time, particularly due to their PvP background for the team itself and their aggressive sense of the game itself. Everyone contributed, and that led them to win the game and pushed them to be in Dodgebolt contention. This outlines the fact now that the Hispanic community that are in MCC really do not play around in PvP games, in our eyes, as opposed to the conservative plays from most of the team in the event. And after a little hiccup in sense of time, they are in Dodgebolt, where they won with a 1v3 from Capitan Gato and a winning shot for Jojo. This performance, as well as their time in MCC, pushed them to really want to play more in the tournament itself. And they have now cemented themselves to be a part of MCC. Throughout the next couple of events, they expanded to other chemistries. Pride 23 with Oli and Lime, where it is somewhat an overestimate for Oli and there's no top frags on that team. So yeah, the result is not what you expect after 31. Then we have 32 with the captain team, Capitan Gato, Captain Puffy, Captain Sparkles, and Captain Peru himself. Same problem as Pride 23, with no clear top frags and Shadoune still starting off with his time in MCC. They got 10th place. 33 then we have Shadoune in yellow and Oli in line. At this stage, Shadoune is proven to work really well with the top frag of the team, supporting in this event fruit berries in games such as Sky Battle and Battle Box, leading the team to first place, although lost Dodgebolt. Oli, on the other hand, is still a bit of a second or third frag, as with the trajectory from his time in Pride 23. After all those trials and errors, comes 34, and Oli and Shadoune are back together for the second time. This time with Sapnap and Velvet. This team is really dominant in chemistry, especially with the duo working together with Sapnap and Velvet. And particularly for Sapnap, them playing together might be the reason as to why they really bond together and play together in other Hispanic events, aside from MCC, even up to this date. Other than that, this event is the first time ever that Shadoune got the top frag in the event, thanks to his time in Meltdown and Sky Battle. Team-wise, this team also did solidly well. As I've mentioned, Shadoune needs either a good top frag or a solid second frag to really dominate the event, and Sapnap plays a part of that well. Same goes with Oli in that time as well. And with that, they won Dodgebolt with ease. This event also started a little top 10 streak for Shadoune that lasted for a very long time, with him finishing 5th in 34, 8th in Twitch Rebels with Shadoune outfranking JoJo and some high octane gameplay in Tuck Toss, 2nd in 35, which is his best placement so far. This event really cements him to be a top frag of the event and also found Rocket Speed Rush to be his game. Unfortunately, he lost in Dodgebolt. Then we have 4th in Season 4 Kickoff, with good individual performances but not so much on team games. Yeah, first time Railroad Rush will be a struggle. Then comes the second Spanish-speaking team ever, and the start of a domination streak for Shadoune himself. And that is Twitch Rebels Europe, with him, Codified, NC-chan, and Sopius. This is Shadoune's first time as the leader of the team, and with the help of Codified in filling the void of some skills the team may have. And they really did good for half of these games, especially of course with their aggressive survival games. Yeah, Hispanics really like survival games, huh? However, despite that, they fell short in Railroad Rush and Build Mart RL. Yeah, it's really not their cup of tea. Like, you can see them collapsing in the build area after they have done. But they put in the effort to try and be in Dodgebolt, but they fell 30 coins short from it. The gap was so close, really so close. After which, we will not see any Spanish-speaking content creators again until another Twitch Rebels. But this time in San Diego, and it's Shadoune, and he won it with Sneak, Gucky, and Abe. And after Shadoune's and Sneak's time in House of Nightmares, they really bond together to help dominate the event as a whole. Again, solid second frag leads into victory, and the team won it in the most aura-full way possible. Then it's Haunted All Down with Ghosty and Phenomenon Captain Sparkles. In this event, obviously, Ghosty and Shadoune worked pretty well together. Rocket Speed Rush was really something else for Shadoune, and the team got a back-to-back win for Shadoune himself, thanks to, obviously, Ghosty being an MVP in the event. And then it's Party 2 with the third all-Spanish-speaking team of Shadoune, Aqueno, Soaring, and Capitan Gato. And this team proved the points I made earlier. Swell Games is their dominant game, clear and solid second frag of Aqueno, and these two factors, combined together, makes them a Dodgebolt contender. And also they are probably the only team besides Feinberg himself to understand drop-in as a whole. So that makes them already further ahead of, well, anyone else would say. They unfortunately lost, but the team itself are all in the top half in div-wise, as well as getting first in coins. These four events I've just mentioned cemented something that Spanish-speaking community, especially with Shadoune, are commonly good at, and that is PvP, as well as adaptability as a whole. Now, in Hispanic events, variety is the key, especially in events such as the recently ended GeoWare or as you may have probably known if you are in the event community, Squidcraft aka Survival Cup, where minigames are prominent in those events. Or even another Hispanic event, White Rooms, which is an escape room event. Each event is unique in itself. Each event is also pretty much, would say again, variety and somewhat a little bit of a Squidcraft coded as well, which makes that variety being a big factor in those Hispanic events. Each event also has content creators and players with a variety of skills. It doesn't matter if you are just a noob in Minecraft, you are potentially gonna be in a Hispanic event. But nevertheless, regardless, adaptability is the key here. Without it, elimination will be done upon you, especially those multi-day ones. That is very necessary. Those events I've also mentioned can be either multi-day or a single day, but multi-day are probably the most prominent one, or as you may have known, everywhere. However, those ones are often filled with long minigames that can eliminate you at any point. As I've mentioned, like in Squidcraft, where a certain amount of people are going to be eliminated every single minigame. And the rough eliminations and everything makes the event tough and competitive in itself. And that is what drives Hispanic players potentially to become dominant in MCC. Now going back to the PvP argument though, the background for the players so far that I've mentioned in MCC are also somewhat PvP dominant, with some events in their factor, which makes it seems that the community is good at PvP. However, it's not really that major factor that is here. But adaptability and understanding seems to play a good part of what the Hispanic community is good at. And as with variety of minigames I've mentioned, that is particularly the case. Regardless, back to MCC. With the domination in Season 4 for Shadoune comes the balancing times for him, where his team got balanced that his team doesn't get to Dodgebolt very often anymore. And instead, his individual performance was the one that shined the most. Starting with blank canvas, although this time with Ollie as well in the other team. For Shadoune, there's no solid second frag for him to really work and dominate with, as well as a tragic sky battle putting them 7th team-wise. Ollie on the other hand has not touched MCC since his win in 34 and was pretty rusty and not that skilled at this point compared to his prime, and finished 31st individually, although his team did quite okay regardless. Then in Color the Vote we have Shadoune in Aqua with an underperformance for him for the most of the games, except for Meltdown where himself and Orange Juice shine the most. They got 4th team-wise. Then in Builder Skilled with Shadoune in red. With this team, with 4C being new to the event even after Rising 2, the team itself really underperformed, especially in team games. They got 9th place. Then in Copper Crown with the 4th ever Spanish speaking team with Aldo Gio, Dulcimer, who is a variety streamer, Ollie Gamers, and Shadoune. This is probably the weakest Spanish speaking team out of the 4 we have had, especially with everyone else except for Shadoune being very underskilled in all the games. And as I've mentioned with Ollie, he's still in that rusty condition earlier seen in blank canvas. So yeah, with the competitiveness as well as no clear second flag and SG unfortunately being a miss, the team got 9th place. Then comes Snowdown with Shadoune in purple, with his individual performance being solid, but still not enough to help carry the team. Especially in team games like Grip Runners for example, where communication is the key in some rooms, like the prison room in the event. His team struggles to go a little bit. And then in Double Date with Ansi and Shadoune in purple, where the language barrier comes to play, with Ansi having to rely a little bit on Shadoune when it comes to comms and potentially understanding the game itself. This same instance happens back in MCC 32 with Shadoune and Captain Gato as well, which can bring the team down quite a bit in crucial communication games like in Meltdown or Sky Battle. However, to overcome that, they also need to understand the game and how to communicate with the team itself in crucial situations in both parties, as well as of course your skills to dominate. So yeah, the team itself got 7th, unfortunately. So yeah, 6 events with a Dodgebolt Drought for Shadoune, with appearances from Ollie, Ansi, as well as Aldo Gio and Dosummer in the Copper Crown. This is quite tough after a dominant Season 4 for Shadoune, but that's to be expected with him being in the event for a long time now. Look, Pizza is on the same boat as well, so it is expected, yeah. One thing to also point out as well, and this is also a common trend for Shadoune's teams, and potentially other Spanish-speaking teams, or 1 or 2 or 3 of them in the same team, is that team games are not their cup of tea at all. Games like Think About Fast, Sands of Time, or Build Mart are games that are in their weaknesses. However, clear one objective games like Grid Runners and Railroad Rush can be their games to dominate, if done right. This makes those team games a make or break for Dodgebolt for them, if PvP goes a bit south for them. While I did mention earlier a little bit about adaptability where Hispanics are potentially good at, there are also one other factor that plays in part in MCC, and that's familiarity of those games, which are really needed in those team games. As with low amount of events they played, this can become a hindrance when competing with familiar people in the roster, as those team games, you also have knowledge difference as well. Whereas games like survival games, that's a familiar territory for them in a way, or even let's say some other movement games in a nutshell. So, going back to Shadoune a bit, after the recent losing streak, he came back in full force in Project Club with the French team. And for the French team, it's really a comeback story for the team that they really need, after finishing 10th place every time there is a French team in MCC. And Shadoune is the one to unlock the team's potential. With the exception of Grid Runners and Hole in the Wall, all of their games are in the top half, with Together Side being their jam. And these combined put them in Dodgebolt where they won the event. This small peak can mark something for Shadoune himself as a renaissance for him to start back up his streak of winning again, so we will have to see. Now, we have entered the present times, and with MCC Hispano coming, as well as all the history of the community in MCC out of the way, this event will now really showcase on what Hispanics are capable to dominate in an event. Although yes, there's Block Wars Hispanics, but that's Block Wars. This is MCC. Yeah. We have seen their performance in games. PvP is their jam, movement is in the middle, and team games can be quite a struggle. With an even playing field this time around, this can showcase as to how they would do in the minigame event setting itself compared to their other times in other events. And there are 2 tribes here to consider coming into MCC Hispano. First, for returning faces. How would they remember their time in MCC after having played once, or twice, or more in the event? You see how the event cap affects Ollie in his performance. You see how dominant players like Cody do in MCC. But how will those performances translate them into a single Hispanic event of MC Championship? And for new faces, how would they learn the event from scratch? Yes, they may have some experiences from Block Wars Hispanics or other events, but minigame events are not often seen in the community, especially, well, in the fast-paced manner like MCC. So, how would they adapt their skills in the event? Again, for some of the communities, PvP could be their strong suit. Some of the communities can be somewhat variety-centric when it comes to their event participation. So, how would that work out for them? Those two factors are something that you, as a viewer, should watch out for, which makes this event interesting and pretty competitive in itself. And it's really exciting, regardless of anything. With that, we can all say that the Hispanics really helped shape MCC in one small way or the other. And with their background in variety events, as well as the roster's PvP greatness and their competitiveness, this can really make them dominate in MCC in the long run, if they choose to stay beyond the Hispanic event. And as for Shadoune, who is a regular, this is also a major factor for him as well, when it comes to how he shaped MCC and how he performs in MCC. I can't wait to see what's to come from MCC Hispano. I can't wait to see them beyond this MCC. That is all. Thank you so much for watching, and really huge thanks to CrystAxol for helping me with this video. He makes plenty of content in both English and Spanish, with some events under his belt as well in both English and Spanish. So be sure to check him out on Twitch and YouTube. Thank you so much again for his help and taking his time to answer some questions regarding some Hispanic events. Otherwise, if you want to watch me react and commentate the Hispanic event live, I'll be live with the pre-show and the unofficial live English commentary on MCC Day, starting at 8 PM BST, here on MCC Live Show. So be sure to check it out if you're interested, and subscribe as well for more content like this. Trying to get back to doing video essays like this now. So that's all. Thank you so much for watching. Keep on watching Dodgebolt. I'll see you later. Bye bye.